Welcome back to DM Prep. My name is Ian and I will be your DM for today. Today we are prepping episode 33 of the Gilded Troll Plays Odyssey of the Dragon Lords. Hopefully that didn't sound terrible as I pulled my microphone towards me because I forgot to do that. When last we left off, the heroes were at the island of Typhon, and technically when last we left off, Scorpius was about to get erupted out of a volcano. So that's fun. So yeah, they're on the island of Typhon. They've finished 5 out of their 6 epic paths, and there's only one remaining, and that is Helios's. Helios's epic path requires him to defeat the one who is fated to kill him, which, as we've learned over the course of the campaign, is Lutheria. She's fated to kill him, so he has to kill her first, I guess. Thank you everyone for being here. Hello, that one guy. Sorry, hello, X, that X, 1X, guy X, and Horrible Tomato, thanks for being here. So today we're exploring the Nether Sea, because it's essentially where the players are going to be trying to go. Let me make this bigger, because that's the thing that I need to do. Alright, we got bigger font size. We have a few random encounters that we can run on the way there, sort of pad things out, give us more time to prep the Nether Sea, because let's be honest, I have not read the Nether Sea in months. I read it once forever ago, and I haven't really read it since then, so I kind of need to... give myself time to figure out how it works, how I want to sort of run it, what I want to get out of it. That's a thing that I'm gonna. There's a decent amount to read. So conveniently, it doesn't seem like it's very long. The Nether Sea is okay. It's 28 pages. That's kind of long. No, it's 18 pages. That's not that long. Okay. Okay. But before we get there, we've got some random encounters that we can run. One of the things that I've been holding off because I still can't figure out how I want to do it well is the Fleet of Sydon encounter. It's something that I've thought about doing a few times. I even thought about doing it when they were on the ground and they couldn't really do much about it. Or not when they were on the ground, but when they were out of the sky and they were in the water and they would have to whatchamacallit, they would have to sail away rather than just fly away. Hey Andy, hey Iceman, how's it going? So yeah, the Fleet of Sydon encounter is something that I've been wanting to do, but I haven't yet figured out how to do it well. I think basically the only way to run it well is to not use initiative order at all, because the numbers in the fleet are overwhelming, to be honest. There's 30 ships or something like that. Let's see. Introduction. Preparing the adventure, playing villains. So, Sidon's fleet. There's 30 ships, each crewed by 24 Geigans, a Geigen hero, 24 bronze automata, and a cyclope, and 12 cyclopes. Each of the ships is 200 feet long, has a speed of 8 miles per hour, AC 14, damage threshold of 15, and 2,000 hit points. These are way bigger ships than their ship, and there's 30 of them. And if the heroes are foolish enough to attack the fleet, then one of the Geigen heroes will blow from a horn to summon 1 or 2 of Sidon's children. How do you... the reinforcements will arrive within 10 rounds flying on the backs of rocks. That's insane. That's a lot to deal with. I think I just kind of play it as... Will the objective be to escape? So the problem with even running it as an escape objective is that, as written, these things are faster than them. The players have a speed of 5 miles an hour, or the Ultros has a speed of 5 miles an hour, and these ships have a speed of 8 miles an hour. So even if players just tried to flee, the enemies would just chase them forever, and they'd never be able to get away. That said, the players generally fly at a height of 500 feet. It's high enough to be above any waves, low enough to not affect their breathing. Trebuchets have a range of 1,200 feet. So I'm wondering if their response couldn't just be, let's go up. yeah, it's going to get hard to breathe, but then we won't get hit by trebuchets. I think that might be the way to do it. And, like, everyone needs to make a con save versus, I don't know, I guess exhaustion from, you know, low oxygen. Um, yeah, I think that's hard to breathe at 500 feet. No, it's not hard to breathe at 500 feet. They're low enough that it's not hard to breathe at 500 feet. I've been really cagey about them flying higher to avoid. Um, I don't want them so high that they literally can't be affected by anything, but I also don't want them. I mean, that's basically it. I don't want them so high that they can't be affected by anything. So I've just said your cruising altitude's 500 feet because it's open air. And yeah, I know that my altitude right now on the ground is higher than 500 feet. So that's kind of ridiculous now that I think about it. Yeah. Now I think about it, it's kind of ridiculous. So, yeah. At what altitude does it become hard to breathe? Could be 500 feet relative to ground or sea. I mean, yeah. At what altitude can you not breathe? Oh my god. 20,000 feet. Sufficient oxygen exists in the air to sustain us. That's... Jesus. Okay. Yeah. But how high are clouds? Between 10,000... How high are storm clouds? Oh my god, 75,000 feet. Okay, so yeah, the ship unable to fly higher due to mechanical magical things. I mean, yeah, that could work. That is a thing. As the air gets thinner, if you have any kind of atmospheric thrust that relies on actual wind or something to push off of, you can get altitude sickness at 6,000 without acclimation. Okay, so 500 is excessively low, I would say, but yeah, that's probably the way to do it. Yeah, so that's what we're going to do. So we do have Gaius and Arjun. Random encounters post Typhon. We're going to put random in quotes. So Typhon. Retcon. Tiny retcon to Scorpius and Calliope. So this is at Jesse's request. And I mean, it's totally fair. He said that he wanted to spend hours with Calliope. If you don't know what I'm talking about, we had a one-shot last night where it was just me and Jesse, and Scorpius jumped into a volcano and met his great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandmother. That it was the correct number of greats. It's 8. Resources to spend to force the ship higher. 500 plus, the ship starts to act up. Skill checks to keep it running. I do like that. Skill checks to get the Ultros to climb higher, then climb up to 1,200 feet. All right, yeah, I like that idea. I don't know if I want to do a skill challenge. I think it'll be basically each successful check gets plus 100 feet. I mean, I guess this is basically a skill challenge then. So we need 7 successes before... How many failures would be the question? I guess basically, like, it has 16 AC, plus 5 to hit with disadvantage, so it's an 11. It's only got about a 30% chance to hit. Actually, no, that's exactly a 25% chance to hit, isn't it? Let's find out. Let's go to anydice.com. Output lowest one of 2d20 plus 5. And the odds of getting at least a 16 is exactly 25%. Cool. So every fail is a hit on the ship. With their resources, 3 failures is fair. That's true. With their resources, 3 failures is totally fair. But the thing is, it's on a hit 8d10 bludgeoning, but there's also 30 goddamn trebuchets. So yeah, there's a lot of trebuchets. So each one has a 25% chance to hit. If each one has a 25% chance to hit, and there's 30 of them, then there's 7.5 hitting on average. 7 times 8d 10. Did that work? That worked. So on average, when they fail, they're taking 300 damage. So yeah, it's basically 7 successes before 3 failures. Yeah. So that's a thing. So yeah, we're gonna run it as a skill challenge. We'll say the DC starts at 15, which means that if they crush it, then the final DC will be 21. And if they struggle a little bit, the final DC will be 23. They're in tier 3 and they have a lot of cheerspiration and whatnot, so I think that's totally fair. What does failure mean? So failure can't just mean they die. Does failure mean they lose the ability to fly forever? Maybe weight times thousands. Pounds lowers maximum height. Ship can fly higher, but more weight added causes it to lose its maximum altitude. Could go higher, but we need to drop supplies or equipment. That's certainly something that we can, like, I would rather just adjudicate that at the table. Like, if they say, like, what can we get rid of to lose weight, then yeah, that's, yeah. At least until they can land and spend some time fixing it. That's probably the way to go, yeah. Failing the skill challenge causes them to lose their flight until they can land and repair it. Might need Vulcan's help. I actually really like the idea of needing Vulcan's help to fix it, which would mean they need to sail it up to the Mithril Mines. That is something that I've really wanted to kind of force them to do. So I like that. Alright, so I don't really care. Failing a skill challenge. Alright, so failing a check means they get hit by trebuchets. Okay. So each successful check gets 100 feet and avoids trebuchets. So there's really a twofold goal here. It's avoid getting hit and fly up. So each success, two goals: fly up and avoid getting hit. So the point of having multiple goals is that they can bring more of their abilities to bear. So if, for instance, Helios were to cast hallucinatory terrain and just make the water around the enemy's boats look like lava that could throw them off and maybe give advantage on their next check to avoid getting hit. But basically, because there's multiple goals, they have the ability to approach the situation in multiple ways. So yeah, failing a skill challenge causes them to lose their flight until they can land and repair it. They will need Vulcan's help, which means sailing to the Mithril Mines. Okay. Alright. I like this. When does the world end? The world ends in 21 days. So this is today, and the world ends after this day. So yeah, we've got 21 days. This little symbol is when Remir's infusions sort of end, at which point he can use his luck blade to wish for 3 simulacra. Actually, can you do that? Oh, you can just make a simulacrum of the first simulacrum and then make a simulacrum of the second simulacrum. Because if you cast the spell again, and if you cast the spell again, so he casts it on himself, and then he gives the luck blade to his simulacrum. That simulacrum casts it on him, and then that's silly. But yeah, yeah. See, he has a luck blade with 3 wishes, so he's going to get 3 simulacra, whose entire purpose in life is to make power armor for 3 of his allies, and then put a bunch of infusions in it. Perception, survival to navigate around weapons, trying to hit them, stealth to hide in clouds, athletics to hoist sails. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so you know, because there's multiple goals, fly up, goals. Let's just say goals. Fly up a lot of feet. Avoid getting hit. If we could have a 3rd goal, that'd be great, but I can't really think of one right now. I got rid of to get the Ultros safely. Climb safely to greater than 1,200 feet. Those are your goals. 7 successes before 3 failures. What I'm going to do is I'm going to prep on the GM info overlay. Because one of the things that I really like about skill challenges is the ability to just keep track of them. So we've got green, we've got red, and then when they complete them, what I can actually do is I can just select that circle and then fill it. Done. So I don't have to worry about like crosses or anything. Lose the fleet. Yeah, lose the fleet. Well, once they're up at a specific height, they don't need to lose the fleet. They can do whatever the hell they want. But yeah, thank you for the cheers, bow, Andy. I kind of ran out of stuff last night, so it's good to refill. Although Scorpius is already back to 13, which is insane. Hey, thanks for dropping them channel points in the Tomb of Annihilation speedrun challenge. We're 21% of the way there. Once we get to 500,000 channel points raised, we're gonna run Tomb of Annihilation as a speedrun. We're gonna run the entire campaign in one session. Also, I learned my lesson last night, and Scorpius is now a multi-sided token, so he can turn into a giant scorpion. He can do that himself, and then I just need to make him bigger. So that's just one less thing I need to do. Or, you know, I can flip him, but like he's flippable basically. And then, you know, I don't have to worry about like moving tokens back and forth. Like, oh, okay, let me put the scorpion here. Let me move Scorpius off the map. Like, I just flip the token. Cool. And I probably should have done the same with Helios because he likes to turn into an ape and a dolphin. So I could just make like a several-sided token for him, but I haven't done that because I'm dumb. Also, here's a big deal. So as the players are trying to make their way into the Nether Sea, I can start using this thingamajig, but not quite yet. So you know, we're still in the Forgotten Sea. Whoops, this is to front. There we go. So yeah. So yeah, we've got these rings set up for the skill challenge. I think I'm actually going to spread them out. So you move here. You move here. Oh wait, are these not on a grid? Is there no grid on this page? I thought there was a grid on this page. Yeah, the grid's on. Okay, I'm just gonna have to delete them and then redraw, I guess. That's annoying. What's your problem, dude? Alright, I'm just gonna delete everything and start over, because what the hell. So draw shape. And we'll just put gaps. I kind of hate this though, so we're not gonna do that. So 5, 6, 7, and then I just need to get rid of you, and then I need to draw the red ones again. Alright, so lesson learned. I will do the red ones separate, just so they, yeah, alright. Now I can move these over. Okay, alrighty. And I could actually just drop their tokens. Like I could drop their tokens in here to just be like, okay, cool. Like you did this one, give someone else a chance. And then once everyone is on the map or like on the skill challenge, it's like, okay, anyone can do the last one. So yeah, that's just an idea that I randomly had. So yeah, like if Remir does the first one, I would grab the first one, fill it with green, and then grab his token and just slap it in there. And then once everyone has had a chance to do something, I would move all of the tokens off, and then they would still stay filled, but then tokens are free to filter in. So yeah, I like that a lot. One thing I am going to do is I'm going to move these two back so that once I move them to the token layer, hopefully, they'll be behind the tokens. Hopefully. I don't know. Figure it out. Not the biggest deal to just push them back while we're playing. Not the end of the world. All right, so skill challenge. All right, we finally figured out how to do Gaius and Arjun. Simultaneously, Gaius and Arjun are going to be... Oh. Fend off Gaius and Arjun. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Cool. All right, so fly up a lot of feet. Failing a check means they get hit by trebuchets and lose 10 crew members. Any failure is losing 10 crew members. If they fail 3, they lose 30 total crew members, and they lose their flight until they can repair it. So yeah, because failing a check means that trebuchets hit them, Gaius and Arjun go for a strafing run, etc., etc. And they breathe cold all over the crew and kill a bunch of people. So that's how we're gonna run that. Cool. All right, cool. I like that. Why are you only tab 2? Oh no. Well, I'll just untab that. There we go. Okay. I have 4 space tabs now, so rocks. Rocks fall, everyone dies. Let's go to encounters. Dragons versus dragons. I mean, yeah, it's kind of weird because the players have 4 dragons, but I'm imagining that the dragons are also going to be like, the dragons aren't going to be able to just focus on Arjun because of the like everything else that's happening. The trebuchets are going to be throwing rocks at the dragons as well as the ship. Like it's not going to be able to be just dragons go get Arjun, let's focus on everything else. It's going to have to be sort of split your attention, figure it out, do some skill checks. Yeah, I'm super happy with this. Also, I think as written, Arjun is a young silver dragon, but I think I need to upgrade him to an adult silver dragon because otherwise he's just, or she, sorry, she's just not a threat. So as an adult, she's way bigger than, managed to sleep until 12:30. I'm proud of you too. This Fleet of Sydon attacks skill check. Yeah, so it's a skill challenge with the Fleet of Sidon. Oh, I even wrote adult silver. I'm gonna get rid of a long so that we get so Gaius and Arjun with the Fleet of Sidon. Each ship is armed with a trebuchet. I don't actually need any of these notes about what trebuchets do, but they also are loaded with a pot full of flaming tar. So anything that gets hit is on fire. If any failures, put out fires. So yeah, that's another goal that you can have for advantage on next check. All right, I'm just gonna do DC 15 plus because I know how skill challenges work. 7 successes before 3 failures. So they're trying to fly up out of the range of the fleet's trebuchets. They're trying to avoid getting hit by the trebuchets while they're doing it. They're trying to fend off Gaius and Arjun, and then if they fail at all, then one of their goals is to put out fires on the ship. So that's a tiny retcon to Scorpius and Calliope RP. All right. Once RP is over, PC's up top sense an incoming eruption. No sign of Scorpius. They have to flee without him. Once we resolve the PCs up top, making it back to the ship, Scorpius is erupted out of the volcano a mile into the air. Are the on-fire rules for damage from last night the same if the damage is from trebuchet? I think I did it with the trebuchet fire, doing 4d10 fire per round because it's tar instead of just fire. Like, it's flaming tar, which is going to burn a lot hotter than whatever you're wearing. So, yeah. But yeah, Scorpius is going to get erupted a mile into the goddamn air, but it's okay because he can slow fall. So even though he takes 20d6 falling damage, when he lands, he can slow fall and reduce it by 45. Also, they're high enough level where 20d6 isn't deadly. PC's up top. What? Oh, got it. Thanks, Riley. The fleet can put the hurt on the Ultros and maybe a dragon. I mean, yeah, so I'm not actually going to keep track of damage. I had written that it was 4d10, but I'm not actually keeping track of damage, so that each failing a check means they get hit by trebuchets, lose 10 crew members, and the Ultros loses 300 hit points. And, you know, that might matter eventually. The Antikythera can repair the Ultros at a rate of 50 hit points per day. So if they fail 2 checks and lose 600 hit points in the Ultros, then they could very easily that would take 12 days to fully repair. So, yeah. So failing a check means they get hit by the trebuchets, lose 10 crew members, and the Ultros loses 300 hit points. And I arrived at this 300 actually by math. So there's 30 ships in the fleet. They have a +5 to hit with a trebuchet. They have disadvantage because they're already at long range. With disadvantage and a +5 to hit, and the Ultros is 16 in AC. They have a 25% chance to hit, which means that on average 1/4 of the 30 will hit, which is 7.5. I rounded down to 7, and then multiplied that by the 8d10 damage they're doing, and it came out to 308 damage. So it's going to be 300. 300 damage as they get hit by 7 trebuchets because they failed to avoid them. And then, yeah, so if they fail 3 of them, if they fail the skill challenge, they get hit by they lose their flight until they can land and repair it, and they'll need Vulcan's help. But basically what it's going to be is they're essentially going to fall out of the sky, and it's going to be a crash landing, and they're in the middle of a storm, of course, and the fleet is just going to assume they're all dead because it's just a bunch of cyclopes. They're not the smartest, and Gaius is not willing to risk his dragon trying to find them once they're in the water. So, because so the way I'm imagining this is if they fail, they're crash landing, and the dragons, like the players' dragons, are probably going to be flying around the wreckage, getting people better. Gaius would just assume that all of the people are dead, and that the dragons are still a threat, and there's 4 of them and only 1 of him, so he doesn't want to go in there on his own. But the fleet is already fucking off because they're dumb and cyclopes. So he's like, I no longer have the support of the fleet, so I don't feel comfortable attacking them. So he's just going to follow the fleet. But I will sort of describe it as Gaius watching as he's watching as the fleet recedes and the party starts. Everyone in the crew has water breathing. So all the players have water breathing. I don't know if Helios bothers casting on the entire crew, but I don't see any reason he couldn't. Every time he casts it, it can target up to 10 targets. they've got a crew of about 100. They have 85 crew members, but then there's the 6 of them, and then a buttload of NPCs. So let's say it would take 10 casts. So if he spends 100 minutes every morning, he could get everyone with water breathing. That's a thing he could do. Absolutely. So I'm just going to assume he does. I'm not really concerned with the crew. But basically, the Ultros is going to crash land, but then between the heroes and their dragons, like, they're able to get the Ultros back out. Sub mode only hide, not travel. Yeah, actually, that's a really good idea. I might sort of push the players to think of that, like, as they crash land. They just go, okay, well, this thing can sink, right? Like, we can, yeah. They keep saying they have submarine mode, do they? So the reason they keep saying submarine mode is because when they first got the Ultros, when the crew was still fully undead, they dove beneath the water to get out of an inland lake that there was no visible exit from. And they've never managed to get it to go submarine ever since. So yeah, that's just a thing they keep saying. So anyway, random sea encounters. So one of the things that is true now that they can fly is that I cannot rely on any encounters that it was ghost ship powers, and it's kind of not a ghost ship now, basically. If they ask Astor really nicely, he could maybe do it for them, because he's the real captain. But yeah, now that they can fly, I can't rely on any random encounters that rely on them being in the water. So anything that flies, I can still do. I was just curious if you'd come up with a way for them to enable that again. Let's go with Astor, because it was a ghost ship power, and he's the ghost. Fuck it. Astor can do it. So yeah, if they crash land, Astor will speak to Yasena. What does he want? If they crash land, Astor will speak to Yasena and offer to have the boat stay underwater for a time while the fleet sails away. What does Astor want in return, though? Because he's already gotten time in Yasena's body. I don't think he I would rather have sort of a progression of events. He wants her to swear an oath to recover his Zephos of slaughter. So, if you're unfamiliar, the Zephos of slaughter is a magical item. It's very rare. Dragon Lord Astor Archlander defeated Geigen Smith in single combat and forced the Cyclops into his service. Demanded the Cyclops forge him a weapon that would drench all the shores of Thylia in blood. The Geigen complied, crafting this bronze dagger. Astor anointed the weapon by slaughtering the smith and his family. Sick. Stained deep red. It's a +2 weapon, and it is cursed. That weapon is terrible. What island in the Nether Sea does he want? So the Zephos of Slaughter, if I recall correctly, is... yeah, it's in the Mirror Prison, where the Kraken was once imprisoned here. It's in the Mirror's Prison where Hezebal is trapped. And the Zephos of Slaughter is like a thing. Okay. So yeah, the Zephos of Slaughter is in the Nether Sea. And the one with the volcano. There's a volcano in the Nether Sea. They're on the island with a volcano in the Forgotten Sea. Is the curse any good? No, the curse makes the weapon worthless, but it's not really about the weapon. It's just, so I'm probably going to do something along the lines of like Estor comes back to life when he gets the Zephos. Like he killed so many people with it that like he can just come back to life if he has it. And he's not going to tell them that. He's just going to tell them he wants the dagger, and you know they can deal with that. But he wants her to swear an oath to recover his Zephos from the Nether Sea and give it to him. So there isn't a volcano. There's a volcano. Like, they're literally in a volcano right now. They're not in the Nether Sea. They're in the Forgotten Sea. So that's a completely different thing. And then once Estor is alive, he's literally just going to... I'm probably just going to homebrew a big boss fight on the Ultros where he is going to try and go around and slaughter the shit out of their whole crew. So that's going to be neat. That's going to be real fun. Every sea should have at least one island with a volcano. I mean, we have 3 seas. We don't need 3 volcanoes. We don't need 3 volcanoes. So, will the end of the Oath of Peace going to be a day or a war? So as written, the end of the Oath of Peace causes the Battle of Mitros, where the forces of Sidon and Lutheria attack Mitros, and it's this whole thing. Like it's just like a series of encounters, culminating with Kentamane attacking, and then they have to stop Kentamane, and every round that he's active, more shit gets destroyed. Yeah, no worries. No worries. There's a lot of lore to this book. So, so yeah, as I was saying, so you see, if they crash land, Estor will speak to Ysena and offer to command the boat to stay underwater for a time, stay safely underwater for a time while the fleet sails away. But he wants her to swear an oath to recover his Zephos of slaughter from the Nether Sea and give it to him. Okay. So that's a thing. Alright, so random encounter. So yeah, as I was saying, I can't rely on any random encounters that rely on the water, heroes being on the water. I have to do random encounters that can work even if they're in the air. And rock is just such an encounter. Distant speck appears in the sky above the horizon. You recognize the silhouette of a flying bird, but this one appears to be enormous in size. As it draws closer, your entire ship is cast into shadow. The gargantuan creature begins circling the ship as it slowly descends. The powerful downdraft from its massive wings make it challenging to stand upright on the deck. Okay. Victim takes 2d6 damage from falling into the sea. Eat a dick. They can crash land into the ocean, which they've already seen the consequences of, or they can slip into the water as if falling through air still, and the entire ship keeps diving perfectly on control. Yeah, that's... If they begin to fall, Estor will quickly speak to Ysena and offer to command the boat to dive safely underwater for a time. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, so instead of crashing, they'll just slip right into the water as if through air, and then they can just kind of hover down there while the fleet sails away. Cool. So yeah, rock. Rocks. 2 rocks attack and attempt to pick up. Let's look at the rock stat block. I think it's a little underwhelming, probably. It's from the monster manual, so probably. Okay, so here's our rock. Is there a chance they decide to hide underwater instead of take to the air when the fleet first arrives? So that was something that I never wrote down. Flying through a storm. Do they have water breathing? Yes. Helios can cast water breathing as a ritual, so he casts it every morning and it lasts 24 hours non-con. So, yeah, everyone in the crew can breathe water for 24 hours at a time. Yeah, they can breathe water, no problem. Flying through a storm, they suddenly find themselves in the eye of a hurricane and are spotted by the Fleet of Sidon at the same time they spot the fleet. Kind of want them to fail purely because it's cool, not to stress them out though. I mean, yeah, so I'm setting up consequences for failure, but I'm setting up consequences for failure and making it cost something, but I'm not trying to make them fail. But yeah, no, yeah, I'm trying to come up with a rationale for their failure not to just be, okay, cool, you're dead now. Because let's be real, if they got knocked out of the sky and then the fleet didn't go and make sure they're all dead, yeah, fail forward, exactly. It's kind of weird for the fleet not to make sure they're dead, but if it just goes like underwater and it looks like it's just sinking straight to the bottom of the ocean, there's no reason to check. Like, everyone's fucking dead, of course. And they're Cyclopses. They don't know how magic works. So, the fleet is using the eye as a way to hide and pass through the seas, powered by Sidon. Exactly. Yes. Yes. So, okay, cool. They have Talon attacks. They're not going to use their beak attacks. They're just going to use their Talon attacks to grapple and restrain and carry people away. What's weird is that the random encounter says that they have 3 attempts to escape the grapple. And also it says DC 15, even though this is DC 19. So that's weird. What I'm going to do is 2 rocks attack and attempt to pick up PCs to carry off. Pick up people to carry off. Choose at random from anyone on the deck. Each rock has multi-attack, 2 Talon attacks. I'm rewriting them. They get 2 Talon attacks and can carry 2 medium creatures. It literally doesn't say that there's a size limitation on this. So we'll just say 2 creatures. Choose at random from anyone on the deck, prioritizing livestock and centaurs. Centaurs look like horses, that's why. They look like livestock, and rocks aren't smart enough to know the difference because they have 3 int. Can the Cyclopes launch themselves at boats to board? Do 100 high for PCs, low for crew? I'm just going to do random. Like, I'm just going to say, okay, there's 20 tokens here, roll d20. Is it just a waste of your time island? It seems like a treasure dump, not much else interesting. Yes, this is a waste of your time island. That is exactly what it is. So, yes, you are correct. But mostly I just kind of want to waste... So not only do I want to kind of kill some of their crew, potentially, I also want to waste some of their time. Just... It's a thing that I need to do. Like, I have to challenge them. Like, they can't always succeed, and they've kind of always succeeded. So yeah, it's literally just going to be like climb up and deal with the rocks. Go. Yeah, just made a pair of rocks. Mostly hand. Hey Jenny, thanks for being here, and thanks for saying that. Thanks for lurking. Not because I want to hate on Luke. No, definitely not because I want to hate on Luke. The rocks. I think it's reasonable that the rocks would want to target what they think is livestock, because they have experience with stealing livestock from people, and they know that it's easier to steal the livestock than it is to steal the people. 3 attempts to break out of the grapple, DC 19, after which unconsciousness. Basically, it's just going to be Like, it's going to keep crushing you so that you stop wriggling. And I'm not even going to roll dice. It's just like roll, you know, make an attempt. On a success, fall to the ocean. Just fall to the ocean. Luke is a runt of a centaur anyway, last on the list of ones to grab. I mean, yeah, so there's 2 centaurs on the ship. He is also very shiny. Yeah, he's probably not... Yeah, Ramir's probably not a great target. But Folon, on the other hand, Folon's a very good target, because he's, you know, he just looks like a horse with, like, a weird head. So yeah, this is just sort of a random encounter. And then Charybdis. So ways, here let's go, ways into the Nether Sea. So Charybdis, which they don't, I don't think they have the constellation for Charybdis. Big. So, oh, they do know Charybdis is the Dreamer. Okay, cool. They do know that. Alright. Ramir is a snack and Folon is the whole damn meal. Yes. Yes, exactly. So Charybdis, which is constellation of the Dreamer. Alright, so we know Alot is into centaurs. Got it. Can I have both with a side of snakes? Well, Scorpius' snakes just fell off his head. They died. And they're just there now. So he's got a side of snakes for you. Too soon? Too soon? Yeah, what is the... Deadfalls. That's it. Deadfalls. Mainland. The bear. Yeah. So yeah, Charybdis is the constellation of the Dreamer. Deadfall is the mainland constellation of the Bear. Who actually knows how to get to the Nether Sea? So you know, we're now 45 minutes into DM prep, and I still. When did that happen? How did you miss it? It happened literally last night on our one-on-one Scorpius one shot. Yeah, that's a thing that happened. It is an hour and a half long, so you've got 3 hours before Odyssey starts, so if you wanted to catch up on that, watch that right after DM prep is over, because that's just Estor. YouTube tonight. Yeah, that's a thing I was supposed to do. I was supposed to export that. 1 second. Content, video producer. Let me export that to YouTube. But yes, that should be up on YouTube tonight. Odyssey of the Dragon Lords. Episode 32-2 Scorpius. Start export. Okay. Alright. It has been exported to YouTube privately, and then it'll be up, available on YouTube tonight at about 9 p.m. No, 10 p.m. 10:15 probably. Anyway, so yeah, just Estor? Is that really? So, traveling to the Nether, 2 ways to get there. Neither of these methods are well known, even among the gods. They must be discovered through research or seeking out extremely wise creatures such as sphinxes. Well, they... Estor, Calander's ghost, is aware of this method, but he refused to share it with the party unless they have agreed to his bargain. And, like, his bargain is stupid. So Estor can tell them about the Deadfalls. Estor can tell them about this entrance if they agree to get the Zephos of Slaughter for him. If they swear. Divine Intervention would do it too. Super Waterfall of Death or Ask a Sphinx. Basically, Super Waterfall of Death or Super Whirlpool of Death. But here's the thing, Super Waterfall of Death isn't super deadly because they have a flying ship, so they can just sail, like they can just fly to the hole in the ground that is the Deadfalls, and then just And then what I'm gonna do is once they start descending into the Nether Sea, I am going to basically say, like, you start falling. The fall is barely controlled, and then once they're in the Nether Sea, they can't fly anymore. They're gonna have to be on the water. And that's just because I feel like flying in the Nether Sea is going to cause a lot of problems that I would like to not. I want to clip that so bad. Sorry. Tell you what. I'm gonna add a stream marker. I just added a stream marker. Can you cheers about Ian secretly right now? Yeah, absolutely. You can do that. A lot of people do that on DM prep, and players hate it, and it's hilarious. But yeah, I added a stream marker. Could you clip it into spoilers? So I added a stream marker. So what I will do is after today's session, when I actually when the thing that I just described happens, then I will go back and make a clip of it for a lot. So yeah. Okay. So yeah, Deadfalls, Charybdis, and then I think. Thanks a lot. Thanks for the bit. I'm gonna take a take 20 for that. Yeah, I was I stand for DM prep, so it was just perfect. Like I just crouch, obviously. So yeah, I think with these with things that we're doing on Typhon, random encounters post Typhon, and then they can figure out their ways in the Nether Sea, and there's probably a number of other ways to figure out how to get there, but yeah. A few ships have ever returned from this journey because the dark waters of the Nether Sea quickly eat away the wooden hulls of most ships. Okay. Monotonous black waves and alien skies stretch for as far as the eye can see. Stars are strange and unrecognizable. In stark contrast to the roiling oceans above, everything here is deathly silent. The smell of briny seawater has been replaced with a pervasive metallic odor. You can hear something sizzling against the hull of your ship. Okay. They appear several miles in a random direction from the whirlpool location in the Nether Sea. But then the River Lethe has a specific location, I think. Where? Gargantuan cubes. Round of the Oathbreakers. Mirror Prison, Titan Prison. River Lethe. No? Yeah, falls from the ceiling, starting from the Deadfalls. Okay. So yeah, if they go down the Deadfalls, they'll end up here. And then number 1 is Charybdis. Yeah, number 1 is Charybdis, and they appear some number of miles in some direction of it. They're also not going to have a map, so it's basically just going to be like, I don't know, go a direction. Just sail somewhere and hope we find stuff. I don't know how you're supposed to navigate the Nether Sea, so that's something that I need to figure out. But I think this gravity's weird here. They can't fly, but in fact the ship engines struggle to hover mere meters above the seething water. So the thing is, most boats get eaten, but the Ultros is magical. Could you preemptively tip the scales during DM prep? You could. That is a thing you could do. I think in general, tip the scales is better used during a combat rather than prior to combats. Yeah, like you can do, that's a thing you can do if you so chose. But I always feel a little weird knowing, like so I would rather not know about a summon, because if I know about it, then I need to actively tell myself to ignore its existence for the purposes of balancing the next combat, which is really hard to do. Like, it's really hard to pretend not to know things. So I would rather just balance the next fight, the way I want to, and then you guys actually get to, like, I balance it, and then you tip the scale. That's kind of the point of it. But if I know that a summon is coming, then, I'm probably going to push the balance in the opposite direction. That's just my opinion. But if you wanted to tip the scales right now, then the next time they have a combat encounter, which is probably going to be the rocks, if I had to guess, then there would be a summon. Which, I mean, I guess I already... yeah, that's why it's called Tip the Scales. Yeah. 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 But yeah, like I've already written the encounter, so I mean, I guess I can't change it now. But you can. You have the power. Yeah, I liked your joke, Moses. I liked it. Mr. Mato, Mr. Moose. But yeah, I think I'm just about done prepping, because I think basically I'm going to end the session when they get to the Nether Sea, even if we're like an hour early, because I kind of just want that, as sort of a reveal, like, you're in the Nether Sea, here's a description of it, and we'll deal with that next time. And also, I haven't really read much of it. Like, I haven't read the Nether Sea in so long. Leaving the Nether Sea is easier than getting there? Really? Charybdis is the most obvious way to leave. Ships that sail into Charybdis. Oh. They will defy physics and sail upward to the roof of the enormous cavern. Ship emerges a few miles. Oh, that's neat. Cool. Cool. Instead of creating a whirlpool, create a massive spout of water. Effectively, the spell can be used to create a temporary Charybdis at any location in the Nether Sea. That's cool. That's pretty neat. Okay, so leaving is really easy. If that's a thing that they want to do. All right. But yeah, there's also like they have, like, there's actual distances here, and then they have a stated speed of 5 miles an hour, and it's just like, I'm actually suddenly wondering if I do need to remove their flight capabilities. But that's the thing. Incidentally, if they fail this skill challenge, then they're going to have to go back to the mainland. And if anyone actually gets carried off by a rock, then they're going to have to... is that an inland sea or clouds? This is an underground sea. It's an underground inland sea from which they enter from above. So, yeah. That's rock. Those are rock walls. So yeah, like, this session could go... Yeah, it is a literally inland sea. It is inside the land, yeah. But yeah, so if they fail the skill challenge, then they're going to have to go back to the mainland to get their flight. And if they fail to fend off the rocks, then they're going to have to go to the island of the rock, or the area of the rock, to get their allies back. So this... And if they fail both, they're going to have to go to the area of the rock to get their allies back, and then sail back to the mainland to fix their boat before they descend into the Dead Falls. So, like, we may very well not even get to the Nether Sea today, but I'm still going to call this session the Nether Sea. But yeah, so that's it for prep. I don't want to delve too far into the Nether Sea because I kind of want to set it up, and I want to do sort of a slow roll. I don't want to go, oh, okay, you want to go to the Nether Sea? Cool. You get there. I want it to be something that they have to quest towards, and then all these sort of side things are happening while they're doing that. So that's gonna be it for prep today. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Holy shit, there's 26 viewers right now. That's insane. If you want to see the session that comes out of this prep, join us, all of us, in 3 hours right here on twitch.tv/thegildedtroll. If you're watching this on Twitch right now, thank you for being here. Please check out our YouTube. We have every single session we've ever streamed. It's like 300 videos or something like that. And then if you're on YouTube, check out our Twitch. We're live 3 days a week. Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Saturdays at 12 p.m. EST. I do DM prep for Odyssey of the Dragonlords, and then 4 p.m. EST we play Odyssey of the Dragonlords. On Sundays we do one-shots, and tomorrow, Sunday, February 28th, we're doing a PvP team deathmatch between our Odyssey of the Dragonlords and Curse of Strahd players. Why'd that fuck up? Nope, wrong way. There we go. Yeah, that lined up weird. So anyway, PvP deathmatch between Curse of Strahd and obviously the Dragon Lords players. They're gonna kill the shit out of each other, and it's all benefiting Extra Life. Thank you for dropping the deathmatch in chat. Benefiting Extra Life, and all of our donations are gonna trigger every $25 donated is going to trigger a spin of the Wheel of Chaos, also known as the Wheel of Fuck You, That's Why, which is just going to massively sort of shake up the combat moving forward. I think we're going to have to put a limit of one spin per turn. So there's 10 combatants, so we could get 10 spins per round still. I just don't want someone dropping $100 and spinning 4 times and just, whoa, okay, everything changes. We do want to sort of put some kind of a limit on it, so it's going to be once per turn, but then if we get a $100 donation, it's going to spin immediately. The next turn it's going to spin again, the next turn it's going to spin again, the next turn it's going to spin again. So we are going to have sort of like a, yeah. So they just ask Luke to cartwheel. And then, yeah, we just ask him to cartwheel until he gets dizzy and he falls over on the wheel that we printed out on the floor. And then whatever he falls on, that's actually what happens. But no, yeah, Luke, what happens next? But yeah, please join us tomorrow for the deathmatch. We have a Twitter, Instagram, Discord. You know what those are used for. Please join those things. Benefiting Death Extra Life. Yes, that's what I said. Benefiting Extra Life. Yeah, so I think that is all I've got. I should find someone to raid. I always do this. We're as always on Saturdays. We're gonna raid Jesse. He's so if you guys haven't watched the Scorpius one shot, then please watch that. It was a lot of fun, and Jesse and I just sort of bouncing off of one another. I really enjoy the format of one-on-one one-shots. I'm having a lot of fun running those. So we did that last night. It was me and Jesse. We're going to raid him right now. If you have seen it, please just follow the raid and then tell Jesse that you really enjoyed it, because we had a lot of fun with it, and I think he'd appreciate everyone saying that they had fun with it. So yeah, thanks for being here, and I'll see you guys in about 3 hours. Bye.